As the second impeachment of Donald Trump continues, the Super Bowl is now behind us, and Disney Plus's WandaVision continues to spread its narrative wings, Valentine's Day is coming up, and there's a timely selection of treats on offering on the small screen. The Silence of the Lambs sequel of sorts, Clarice, debuts tonight on CBS. There's a gold-digging taste of 19th century New Zealand with Eva Green in stars The Luminaries, premiering on February 14th, and 4 days later, it's 1980s London and the beginning of the AIDS epidemic in It's a Sin on HBO Max. And on February 19th, Apple TV Plus's alt history For All Mankind is back for its rocket-propelled second season. So which one will be the show that you have to watch this week?
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
You are a woman with a very public reputation for hunting monsters.
I can't have a reputation. I've only done it once.
It's time you own that reputation.
On sheer quotability alone, the cultural impact of the Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins starring The Silence of the Lambs has only deepened since the Oscar-winning film based on Thomas Harris's writing came out in 1991. Which, especially following various big screen spin-offs and 3 seasons of NBC's remarkable Hannibal, is why CBS's Clarice, which premieres tonight, makes perfect business and narrative sense. And why it doesn't. Now, from the 3 episodes that I've seen, the Alex Kurtzman and Jenny Lumet created drama with Rebecca Breeds in the role of FBI agent Clarice Sterling suffers from a lot of legacy and little liftoff. For one thing, spoiler alert, Dr. Lecter, for rights reasons, can't even be mentioned here by name. Pretty Little Liars alum Breeds is pretty strong, and the notion of picking up the story in 1993 and a traumatized and marginalized Sterling being dragged back into the field is smart. Yet, the consequences of the series seem slight, like just another network procedural, slightly grislier. And the truth is, any show coming out of the world of Silence of the Lambs needs to scream something special.
Do you think the defendant killed your husband, Mrs. Wells?
I know she did. I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember anything.
Having already proved a big hit in the UK, The Luminaries is in many ways very much an old-school Sunday night throwback romp. In a tale of betrayal, desire for new lives in the new world, frustrated lovers, murder, and the oldest profession, the cast of Eva Green, Eve Hewinson, Hamish Patel, and more are top-notch. But if you were expecting a straightforward adaptation of Eleanor Canton's 800-page New Zealand South Island Gold Rush novel from 2013, the Man Booker Prize winner has a surprise or two for you. And surprises can be good, and they can also be extremely infuriating. Dark and yet glittering to look at in Hobbitland, the 6-part The Luminaries is all over the map narratively, with multiple timelines and inferred plot points that buck convention but also cause confusion. On its literary heritage and cast alone, the series is definitely worth checking out, but make sure you tape it so you can hit the rewind button often to figure out what the hell is going on.
We're concerned the Soviets might be trying to introduce a new weapon.
We let this go, it would set a dangerous precedent.
When we last left For All Mankind back in the seemingly alt-reality of December 2019, the alt-reality space race series from Galactica kingpin Ronald D. Moore was clearly launching a new level of Cold War tensions during the scandal-ridden presidency of Ted Kennedy. Well, already renewed for a 3rd season, the Apple TV Plus series is back, and it's the 1980s. Ronald Reagan is in the White House, as in real life, and the Cold War is hotter than a booster rocket as the battle for the moon and beyond turns deadly, literally and figuratively, for all mankind. Now, Apple have so many spoiler restrictions here that there's not really much more I can tell you about the 10-episode 2nd season, except to say that it's much more action-packed and emotionally rewarding than its predecessor, and clearly a transition to a much bigger battlefield in an America that is so like and so simultaneously unlike our own. And with a soundtrack budget likely greater than NASA's real-life funding, Season 2 of For All Mankind is extremely watchable and a worthy successor to the unexpected thrill of its first season. But as good as the revised Reagan-era space race drama For All Mankind's 2nd season is, it is not the show that you have to watch this week. That goes to the heart-stopping and heartbreaking It's a Sin.
20 seconds of count. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
What do you want to be doing?
What's the plan?
I just want to be happy. I want to learn everything.
I'll be stinking rich.
He's going to London.
London.
London. I'm getting out of here.
It's rare, even in the ongoing peak TV era, or perhaps because of it, but sometimes a show appears that both defines the medium and our times. In this era of the coronavirus pandemic, It's a Sin from Queer as Folk creator and Doctor Who alum Russell T Davies is such a show, in the way that Dennis Potter's The Singing Detective and David Chase's The Sopranos was, and more. From the almost innocence and sexual freedom of London 1981 through the decade and the arrival of AIDS and its destruction of generations of gay men, their friends, families, and more, the five-parter, which debuted in the UK last month, might not be the highest profile project that HBO Max has, even with the self-loathing Stephen Fry and Neil Patrick Harris in the Pink Palace Ensemble. However, in its portrait of real friendship through the good and the really bad, It's a Sin may prove to be one of the best things that HBO Max will ever have. It's a Sin is also a looking glass from the agony, discrimination, and death of the Thatcher era to the pain, death, and cultural and political ignorance we've seen over this past year of COVID. A looking glass that partially becomes a very revealing mirror. Coming off his most recent triumph with the prophetic Years and Years in 2019, Davies has literally gone back into his own creation of 1999's joyful Queer as Folk with an added resilience that seems almost unchained. And that's rare for a creator with his legacy, but it's a gift for lovers of storytelling, great television, and life itself. So in the days following Valentine's Day, if you're looking for TV to love, have faith, because It's a Sin is the show that you have to watch this week.